on the perspective drawing that we are creating on paper, everything seems to be right. At least it seems to be perfect and right. I'll create a camera and I will actually try to explain this a bit. We said that the camera are our eyes or our point of view from the perspective, and depending where the camera stands, and also keep in mind the camera got its own angle of view, we can distort the zoom factor. For example, the zoom factor is set to 1, like a middle point or a standard which copy the human eye, and when we distort that we are changing the field of view, which are the vanishing points that goes into perspective, and we can actually watch or render this cube from the same point with different distortions, different angle distortions. Also, tilting the camera up or down can create converging or diverging lines affecting the perception of depth. That's why we are choosing the camera's position and composition to minimize the impact of the perspective distortion. In this case, the camera, or should I say the point of view that we used to create this render, was a bit higher. That's why this deviation on this image a bit appeared. But anyway, the perspective rule is still working. We also got the focal length, for example, for the camera, and adjusting the focal length of the camera lens can influence the amount of the perspective distortion when we render our objects. A longer focal length will reduce the perspective distortion, making the objects appear more flattened and less distorted, and the shorter focal length will exaggerate the perspective distortion, making the objects appear more distorted. Anyway, we will try to stick to the standards and we will use the standard zoom factor 1. And one more thing, if we want to avoid these deviations, at least avoid them as much as possible, we should keep our camera, especially in interior rendering, parallel to our floor or our ground.